Have you ever felt like your mistakes define you? Like every failure is proof that you're not good enough? What if I told you that mistakes aren't the enemy? They're actually your greatest teachers. Imagine this. You've just made a big mistake, one that leaves you feeling embarrassed, frustrated, and maybe even hopeless. Your mind starts racing with thoughts of failure, of how you should have known better, of how others will judge you. It feels like the end of something important. But what if it's actually the beginning of something greater? Mistakes are often seen as roadblocks, but in reality, they are some of the most powerful teachers we have. Every misstep holds a lesson, a chance to grow, and an opportunity to redefine our approach. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck isn't the absence of mistakes. It's the ability to learn from them. Yet admitting when we're wrong is one of the hardest things to do. Our ego resists, clinging to the idea that mistakes equal failure. But true growth begins with humility. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone.'" Imagine this. Daniel stared at the email. His biggest project had just failed. His chest tightened, shame creeping in. He wanted to disappear, but then he remembered something his mentor once said. Mistakes aren't the end, they're lessons in disguise. Taking a deep breath, he analyzed what went wrong. Instead of drowning in regret, he reached out, asked for feedback, and tried again. Weeks later, his revised project was a success. Failure hadn't defined him, his response had. When we stop fearing our mistakes and instead embrace them, we open ourselves to real transformation. More than just learning from failure, we can turn it into a stepping stone for success. In this video, I'll reveal the biggest mistake the human mind makes, one that traps us in anxiety, regret, and procrastination. If you're ready to break free and shift your mindset, join me on this journey of discovery, because the way you see your failures could change the way you see your future. Number 1. Presence always exists but is obscured by thoughts. Have you ever felt like you were living but not truly existing? You might be sitting in the middle of a conversation, yet your mind drifts to an event from the past. You might be walking under the morning sunlight, but you are completely disconnected from the moment because your mind is filled with worries about tomorrow. Stoic philosophy aims to expose this biggest flaw in thinking. Your presence always exists, but you fail to recognize it because it is constantly obscured by thoughts. We are trapped in an endless loop of what is past and what is yet to come. Regret pulls us into the past. Anxiety drags us into the future. And we overlook the only thing that truly belongs to us, the present moment. There is a profound paradox. We always live in the present, but we rarely experience it. You may have experienced this without realizing it. Recall a morning when you hurried to work, your mind consumed with thoughts about tasks left unfinished, responsibilities yet to be met, or an unresolved conversation. You walk, but you don't feel the ground beneath your feet. You breathe, but you don't truly feel the air passing through your lungs. The beauty around you, sunlight filtering through the leaves and the cool breeze against your face, is all ignored simply because you are not truly present. This not only causes you to miss out on precious moments, but also leads to stress and anxiety. Your mind becomes a battlefield between what is lost and what has not yet come. And this is what makes you a prisoner of endless thoughts rather than the master of yourself. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Man is disturbed not by things, but by the view he takes of them." This statement reflects the idea that it is your thoughts, not external circumstances, that determine how you experience life. Imagine you are stuck in traffic. If your mind is filled with frustration about wasted time or worries about being late, you will feel tense and angry. But if you change your perspective, seeing it as an opportunity to enjoy your favorite music or reflect on something meaningful, you will feel much calmer. This proves that it is not events that cause suffering, but the thoughts we attach to them. Unfortunately, most of the time, we choose to let our minds be overwhelmed by worries and regrets. It is not just Stoic philosophy that recognizes the power of living fully in the present. Many spiritual teachers have also understood its significance. Eckhart Tolle, the author of The Power of Now, once found himself trapped in a deep internal crisis, seemingly with no way out. Every day he was haunted by painful memories of past failures, wounds that seemed impossible to heal. At the same time, the fear of the future tightened its grip on his mind, as if every passing moment was just another step toward an inevitable descent into despair. But then one night, when his suffering reached its peak, an unexpected awakening occurred. He realized that all his pain did not stem from the present moment, but from his relentless thoughts about the past and the future. He asked himself, what if I stop? What if I no longer chase these endless streams of thought? At that moment, he let go of all his thoughts and fully immersed himself in the present. And something miraculous happened. For the first time in his life, he experienced a profound peace. No longer bound by invisible chains, no longer tormented by things that no longer existed. From that moment on, Eckhart Tolle's life was forever changed. He dedicated the rest of his life to spreading the philosophy of living fully in the present moment, helping millions escape the labyrinth of their minds and rediscover the serenity they had long lost. So how can you see through this truth and break free from the cycle of overthinking? First, you need to observe your own mind. Pay attention whenever you get caught up in thoughts about the past or the future. Recognize that these very thoughts are pulling you away from the present moment. Then cultivate mindfulness by fully focusing on what is happening right now. You can practice this through simple actions. When eating, truly taste the food, savoring every flavor. When walking, feel each step, each breeze against your skin. When conversing, truly listen instead of thinking about your next response. These things may seem simple, but they are the key to freeing yourself from the shackles of your mind. You cannot go back to the past. You cannot control the future. The only thing you have is the present. And most importantly, you have a choice. You can let your mind wander between things that cannot be changed or have yet to happen, or you can choose to live mindfully, embracing this moment as if it were all you have. Because the truth is, it is all you have. Have you ever wondered why, in the same situation, some people collapse while others rise stronger than ever? The answer lies in the mind. The power of the mind can elevate you to heights you never imagined. But if left unchecked, it can also drag you into the depths of despair. So what determines which fate will be yours? What helps someone cultivate an unshakable mind? Let's explore this in the next section. Number 2, the power of the mind. Have you ever felt trapped in your own mind? Do you ever feel stuck with chaotic thoughts, worries, fears, regrets about the past, or anxieties about the future replaying like a broken record? We constantly think about what we don't have, what we've lost, or what we fear might happen. Meanwhile, the present moment, the only one that truly exists, is overshadowed by these endless streams of thought. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote highlights a simple yet profound truth. The external world cannot control you. Only your mind can. But the paradox is that the very thing you can control, your mind, is often ruled by negative thoughts. Imagine sitting in a quiet room. There's no noise, no distractions, yet your mind is racing, dwelling on a past mistake or worrying about an uncertain future. You are not truly living in the moment. You are merely existing, unconsciously pulled along by an unending stream of thoughts. The mind is a powerful tool, but it can also be a dangerous trap. If properly trained, it can help us reach great heights in our careers, happiness, and spiritual freedom. But if left unchecked and controlled by negativity, it can destroy us from within. Albert Einstein was not only a scientific genius, but also someone who deeply understood the essence of human thought. His famous quote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge," at first glance may seem counterintuitive. How can imagination, something intangible, be more important than knowledge, which is built from research and experience? But if we look deeper, we realize that Einstein was revealing a profound truth. Knowledge is limited to what is already known, while imagination opens the door to possibilities that have never existed. Imagine the moment when Einstein developed the theory of relativity. While other scientists were confined by classical laws, Einstein asked a bold question. What would happen if I could ride on a beam of light? This very imagination allowed him to break free from the constraints of conventional knowledge and revolutionize science. This means that the mind is not just a storage place for information, it is also the most powerful creative force. Yet on the other hand, human intelligence also led to the creation of the atomic bomb, one of the most terrifying inventions in history. Nikola Tesla is a clear testament to both the greatness of the human mind and the price one pays when failing to control it. He was not only a brilliant inventor, but also a visionary who believed that cosmic energy could be harnessed to change the world. With an unwavering belief in the power of the intellect, Tesla dedicated his life to pioneering groundbreaking inventions, from alternating current to wireless communication. However, what made him extraordinary was also what consumed him. In his final years, a restless mind and an unrelenting ambition led him to pursue perfection to the point of isolation. He rejected personal relationships and was gradually forgotten by the world. The pressure from financial failures, betrayals by colleagues, and his obsession with solitude led him to spend his last years in a small room at the New Yorker hotel, where he conversed more with pigeons than with people. The problem is not the mind itself, but how we use it. When we get caught up in thoughts of the past or future, we lose the present. This can happen to anyone. Imagine an important meeting. You walk into the room and take your seat, but instead of focusing on the discussion, your mind drifts away. You worry about what you will say, how others will judge you, or what the outcome of the meeting will be. In that moment, you have lost touch with the present. Your presence is overshadowed by those thoughts. Anxiety and insecurity are not reality. They are merely images in the mind, assumptions we create for ourselves. Yet they hold the power to manipulate our emotions, making us feel small and weak. How can you break free from the cycle of overthinking? The answer lies in mindfulness. Presence is not something you need to seek. It is always there. You simply need to clear away the fog of unnecessary thoughts. As a Stoic philosopher might advise, when you feel anxious, ask yourself, is this really happening, or is it just a product of my mind? When you feel trapped in the past, ask yourself, does thinking about this change anything? When you fear the future, remind yourself, the present moment is the only thing I truly control. True mental freedom does not come from changing the external world, but from mastering your mind. When you stop chasing meaningless thoughts, you find true peace. In today's world, people are constantly drowning in endless conversations, pointless arguments, and an overwhelming flow of information. Yet it is in silence that we truly connect with ourselves. Have you ever experienced a moment when someone tried to provoke you, but instead of reacting, you simply looked at them with calm eyes? Not because you were weak or had nothing to say, but because you had nothing to prove. This is the pinnacle of self-respect. When you refuse to let impulsive emotions control your mind, you are in true command. Are you ready to take control of your mind? Here is a question each of us should ask ourselves daily. Will my mind serve me today, or will I be its prisoner? Presence is always available, but to grasp it, you must rise above the waves of endless thoughts. You can control your mind if you recognize that power. What do you think? Have you ever felt trapped in negative thoughts? Share your perspective in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Number 3, how to use your mind and practice presence. There are moments in life when everything becomes overwhelming, when our minds are caught in aimless thoughts, and we feel as though we have lost control of ourselves. We live in a world filled with information, tasks, and complex relationships, which constantly distract our minds. But amidst all this chaos, there is an invisible power we can harness to regain control, the power of the present moment. To achieve this, we must learn how to use our minds and practice presence, not only to cope with life's challenges, but also to fully enjoy each moment of living. In Stoic philosophy, living fully in the present and not being carried away by scattered thoughts about the past or future is an essential part of developing inner strength. We cannot control everything that happens around us, but we can control how we react and think about them. This power lies in our ability to use our minds to maintain peace and presence in every situation. To better understand how to use our minds and practice presence, we need to look at effective methods that have been proven over time. These methods not only help us alleviate stress, but also improve focus and maintain inner peace. One simple yet highly effective approach is focusing on the breath. This technique is widely recognized across various philosophical schools and spiritual practices, especially in Stoicism. When we inhale, we become aware of the life force flowing through our bodies. When we exhale, we feel a sense of relief and tranquility. Spreading such moments not only brings our minds back to the present, but also creates a deep connection with ourselves and the world around us. A practical example of this practice can be applied in stressful situations, such as facing an important meeting. Instead of worrying about the outcome, you simply focus on your breath. Each breath helps you stay clear-headed, preventing unnecessary anxieties from taking over. This allows you to confront challenges with calmness and confidence, just like a true Stoic. Besides focusing on the breath, practicing mindfulness is also a powerful method to maintain presence in daily life. Mindfulness is not just about observing thoughts, it is about paying attention to every sensation, sound, and color around you. It is a practice of deeply perceiving each moment, rather than allowing the mind to be pulled into what is past or what is yet to come. When we live in the present, there is no past or future, only this moment and how we fully embrace it. Imagine you are walking down a crowded street. Instead of letting thoughts about work or personal worries take over, you focus on the simple things around you, the sunlight shining on the trees, the sound of traffic, and the gentle breeze. Just a little attention to the present moment can help reduce stress and allow you to experience joy in every step. One of the most powerful ways to calm the mind and focus on the present is meditation. Meditation not only helps reduce stress, but also makes the mind clearer and more peaceful. When you meditate, you learn to observe your thoughts without being carried away by them. This allows you to see things from a calm perspective, without being dominated by emotions. Through meditation, you will realize that many of your thoughts are merely automatic reactions to the world around you. They are not truths, but rather temporary waves in the ocean of the mind. By not reacting to them, you can maintain inner peace and focus on more important things in life. Kobe Bryant was not just a basketball legend, he was also a symbol of focus and mental discipline. One of his secret weapons for maintaining composure and resilience on the court was meditation. Before every crucial game, Kobe would take time to sit in silence, close his eyes, and focus on his breath. He didn't let his mind drift toward worries about the outcome or the pressure from the audience. Instead, he trained himself to be present, just him, the court, and the ball. In one of his interviews, Kobe shared that meditation helped him avoid being consumed by negative emotions such as anxiety, stress, or fear of failure. When facing challenges, instead of reacting impulsively, he chose to control his mind, handling everything with calmness and clarity. Kobe's success is clear proof that not only in sports but in life, those who master their minds will master their destinies. Meditation is not just an abstract theory, it is a powerful tool that helps us stay grounded in the face of any challenge. However, one of the biggest mistakes we often make is believing that we can control everything around us. We want to manage every situation, every person, and every emotion. But when we fail to do so, we become anxious, worried, and lost. Stoicism teaches us that strength does not come from controlling everything, but from the ability to maintain inner peace regardless of circumstances. When we acknowledge our limits, we discover true freedom and inner strength. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This highlights that not everything in life is within our control. However, we can control how we respond to events. This does not mean we should remain silent and ignore difficulties, but rather learn to stay calm, uphold our values, and not let external circumstances shake our minds. In today's world, where we are easily swept up by pressures, expectations, and distractions, practicing mindfulness and mastering the mind becomes crucial. Remember that true strength does not come from fighting the outside world, but from the ability to face ourselves in every moment, maintaining peace and self-respect. When you master this practice, you will discover an unshakable inner strength. Number 4, the importance of awareness. Have you ever felt like you're living life on autopilot, merely following routines without truly being present or engaged? Do days pass by in a blur as if you're merely existing rather than truly living? It's easy to fall into this trap, especially in a fast-paced world full of distractions. We get swept up in the flow of work, goals, and the expectations placed upon us, sometimes forgetting the most important thing, enjoying the journey. However, the truth is that awareness is one of the most important skills you can develop to transform your life. It not only helps you control your emotions and master yourself, but it also allows you to find meaning in even the smallest moments. Without awareness, no matter how much you achieve in life, money, fame, or power, you may still feel empty. And that is the greatest mistake of the human mind, one that Stoic philosophers have long warned against. Stoic philosophy has long pointed out that humans often trap themselves in an endless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. We believe that once we achieve a certain goal, a dream job, a big house, a solid reputation, we will finally be happy. But then, what happens when we achieve it? The joy lasts only briefly before we set our sights on the next goal, like an unquenchable thirst. Jim Carrey, the famous comedian, once said, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer." Why would someone who has reached the peak of fame and fortune say such a thing? He has experienced what most people can only imagine, achieving everything yet still feeling empty. The truth is, happiness does not lie in the destination, but in the awareness of the journey. When we focus only on the outcome, we miss the precious moments of the present. A fragrant cup of coffee in the morning, a beautiful sunset, or a meaningful conversation. Without awareness, we could own the entire world and still feel as if we have nothing. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This statement reveals a fundamental truth. We cannot control everything in life, but we can control our awareness and our reactions. When you cultivate awareness, you begin to realize that happiness does not come from external sources, not from money, not from status, but from the way you perceive the world. Awareness helps you detach from negative stimuli, preventing yourself from being swept away by anger, fear, or endless ambition. When someone insults you, instead of reacting immediately, you can pause, observe your emotions, and choose to respond calmly. When faced with a challenge, instead of panicking, you can accept it as a natural part of life and find a way to deal with it. There are two states in which people can live: unconsciousness and mindfulness. In the state of unconsciousness, you react instinctively, caught up in the momentum of life without questioning anything. You work without truly understanding why. You chase after goals imposed by society without knowing whether they will bring true happiness. You seek joy in fleeting pleasures, only to quickly feel empty again. In the state of mindfulness, you live with full awareness of yourself and the world around you. You don't just see things, you understand their meaning. You don't just hear people, you truly listen. You don't just exist, you fully live each moment. One of the practices proposed by Stoic philosophers is to pause and observe before reacting. Before responding to a situation, take a moment to reflect. How important is this really? What can I control in this situation? What response will bring me peace? By asking these questions, you gradually break free from automatic reactions and become more conscious of your actions. There is a story about a successful businessman who spent his entire life pursuing his career. In his old age, he realized that although he had everything, money, power, and fame, he had never truly been happy. He had never taken the time to enjoy meals with his family, never truly listened to his children's stories, and never stopped to watch the rain fall. And he realized that what mattered was not how much he had achieved, but how much he had missed. Awareness is the key to living a meaningful life. It allows you to enjoy the present moment instead of dwelling in the past or worrying about the future. It helps you find joy in small things and creates an inner peace that nothing external can take away. Are you living unconsciously or mindfully? Are you truly savoring each moment of your life, or are you just rushing forward without really feeling it? Take a moment to reflect. because this very moment, this very second, is your life. Number 5, state of awareness and level of practice. Consciousness is a term used to describe awareness of your physical and mental experiences. As you may have realized, not all forms of awareness are the same. There are various states of human consciousness, as well as numerous factors that can influence these states. This explains why some people remain peaceful and happy even amidst difficulties, while others are trapped in anxiety and self-torment despite having all favorable conditions. What creates this difference? The answer lies in the level of conscious practice. Stoic philosophy has pointed out that the greatest mistake of the human mind is allowing consciousness to drift uncontrollably, letting it be led by thoughts of the past or future instead of focusing on the present. Epictetus, one of the prominent Stoic philosophers, once said, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." This statement holds a profound truth. Most of the suffering in our minds does not stem from reality, but from how we imagine reality to be. A problem occurring in the present may not be terrifying in itself, but when the mind magnifies it, adding layers of pessimistic scenarios, it is those thoughts that truly cause distress. There are two types of people in this world: those who live in the present and those who are trapped in the past or future. The first group possesses a special quality. They control their consciousness, preventing it from drifting along with negative emotions or meaningless worries. They practice mindfulness daily, focus on the present moment, and refuse to be swayed by things beyond their control. On the other hand, the second group remains stuck in an endless loop of thoughts. They dwell in the past with regrets or worry about the future, with countless imagined scenarios that may never happen. By allowing their minds to wander into the dark corners of anxiety, they lose sight of the most important thing: the life unfolding in this very moment. This is the key to mindful awareness. We cannot change what has happened, nor can we control everything that will come, but we can control how we respond to the present. The difference between these two groups of people is not innate. It results from the habit of conscious practice. Those who train their minds to focus on the present find it easier to maintain inner peace. This is why successful individuals, regardless of their field, dedicate time to cultivating the ability to master their consciousness. Despite living in exile, losing his homeland, and facing countless hardships, the Dalai Lama has managed to maintain inner peace. What has enabled him to do so? The answer lies in meditation. Meditation is not just a silent practice, but a method to focus the mind on the present moment. The Dalai Lama does not allow his mind to be consumed by resentment or suffering due to loss. Instead, he focuses on what he can do right now, spreading peace and compassion to the world. In a completely different field, boxing legend Muhammad Ali also mastered the art of mental discipline. Before every match, he repeatedly affirmed, "I am the champion." This was not just a self-encouraging statement, but a way to shape his state of consciousness. When his mind fully believed he was a champion, it helped him channel all his energy into the fight rather than being distracted by fear or doubt. This proves that awareness is not a fixed state, but a skill that can be trained. When you dedicate time each day to focus on the present, you will notice a profound shift in how you experience life. The greatest mistake people make is allowing their minds to be controlled by things they cannot change. When you spend too much time regretting the past or worrying about the future, you are robbing yourself of the most precious moment, the now. If you seek inner peace, start by mastering your own consciousness. Do not let your mind wander into imaginary scenarios. Instead, bring it back to the present. Observe your breath, listen to the sounds around you, and feel every movement of your body. When you do this, life ceases to be an endless cycle of anxiety and becomes a vibrant and meaningful journey. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing." When you understand this, you will realize that everything you need has always been right here in this very moment. You do not need to wait for a perfect future or search for answers in the past. Only when you learn to live fully in the present can you truly master your mind and find freedom within yourself. Stoicism is not just an abstract theory, but a practical way of living that can be applied immediately. If you want to break free from unnecessary worries and take control of your awareness, start practicing every day. Let your mind settle here and now, because the present is the only thing you truly own. Allowing emotions and external circumstances to control our minds is one of the greatest mistakes we can make. Stoic philosophy does not teach you to eliminate emotions, but to master them. It does not tell you to become emotionless, but rather to learn how to respond in a controlled and intentional way. When you understand that everything outside of you is beyond your control, and that only your thoughts and reactions truly belong to you, you will find true freedom and strength. Great individuals are not those who never face difficulties, but those who refuse to let difficulties define them. That is the essence of Stoicism and the key to overcoming adversity in life. Now I want to hear your thoughts. Have you ever fallen into this thinking trap? How do you manage your thoughts in challenging situations? Leave a comment below. I'm looking forward to your insights. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more valuable content. And if you want to dive deeper into Stoicism, keep watching the videos appearing on your screen right now. See you in the next video.